Hello students, welcome to the Pole Science of Class 11 Arts, and today we will study about the comparative analysis between the fundamental rights and fundamental duties. So previously we read about both these things. Firstly, we read about the fundamental rights, and after that we read about and understand about the fundamental duties. So today we will proceed by making a comparative analysis between fundamental rights and fundamental duties. So let us proceed then. So in the left hand side you can see the points that are there are actually related to the fundamental rights, and in the right hand side the points that are being discussed are related to the fundamental duties. So the number one point regarding fundamental rights is that these are the rights and freedoms guaranteed by constitutions of some countries of the world to their citizens. These rights have a legal sanction and are enforceable in a court of law. And the point related to fundamental duties is that, on the other hand, fundamental duty is the basic duty or responsibility bestowed on you as a citizen of the country. So there is a difference between the fundamental rights and duties. So first and foremost difference is that the fundamental rights are actually the freedom that are guaranteed, means that are given to us, to the general citizens of any country. By whom? By the constitution of that particular country. And apart from that, these fundamental rights which are given to us, that is, or that can also be called as a legal sanction. Clear? So whatever the rights are given, that are legal in nature. And on the other hand, if we talk about the duties, then fundamental duties is the basic duty or responsibility. That means the rights that we enjoy, and fundamental duties is actually, if we try to understand it in a simple word, then we can tell that fundamental duties, the basic duty or responsibility, is the responsibility on the part of the citizens. Clear? After that, a fundamental right exists by virtue of the fact that you are a human being, and on the other hand, a fundamental duties exist as a responsibility on you as a human being. That means what? There is slight difference between the fundamental rights and fundamental duties regarding number 2. According to point number 2, it says that a fundamental right exists by virtue of the fact that you are a human being. That means the rights are given to us as because by the Constitution of India, as because we fall into the category of human being and we enjoy that right. And in case of fundamental duty, it exists as a responsibility on you as a human being. And if fundamental duties is there, that means what? That means that there are some responsibilities on our shoulder as a citizen of that country that is given to us, that we must take the responsibilities and abide by that, being a human being. Clear? After that, point number 3, fundamental right is based on privilege granted to you. And regarding point number 3 of fundamental duty is based on accountability. Clear? So if we talk about fundamental rights, it is based on what? Whatever the privilege it is given to us, privilege as a human being or privilege given as a right that is given to us being the citizen of that particular country. And regarding fundamental duty is based on accountability. Clear? It's basically the responsibilities that have been shouldered and that have been given to us to abide by that. You can say it as responsibility also, you can say it as the duty also, that is bestowed upon us. After that, number 4, there are 6 fundamental rights. So regarding fundamental rights, these are 6 in number. Clear? And after that, regarding fundamental duties, these are 11 in numbers. That means the responsibilities and duties that are given to us are 11 in number, and regarding the fundamental rights that are given or that are guaranteed by the constitution legally, that are 6 in number. Regarding number 5, under fundamental rights, any citizen for that matter can make full use of his fundamental rights pertaining to right to life, freedom of speech, etc. That means whatever the rights are given, that are 6 in overall, so all these 6 rights can be utilized by any citizens living in that particular country of India. And regarding fundamental duties, any citizens for that matter is expected to carry out fundamental duties fully well, so that the society as a whole will be benefited. So we have understood that under fundamental rights it is given that whatever the rights are given, that are 6 in number, and we all living in India as the citizen, we get that fundamental rights since birth, and we can enjoy that rights to the fullest. That is our rights actually. And regarding fundamental duties, it is also the duties and responsibilities of every citizen of India to carry out this responsibility and duties. If every individual will carry out their responsibilities and duties in a good manner, then it is expected that the whole society will actually get benefit from the overall responsibilities which we as a citizen will carry out to give some benefits to the society. So regarding the making of comparative analysis, there are overall 5 points. Remember these 5 points, and in the conclusion part we can say that fundamental rights and duties are of no use until we use our rights for the betterment of society. That means according to the first line, it is written that fundamental rights and fundamental duties, these are only fruitful when we can utilize or we can use it for the betterment of our society. That means we have to think ourselves also, and we have to think according how should we work as an individual or as a citizen of a country, so that we can make India or make our place as a better place to live in. So then only we can say that these fundamental rights and duties are actually utilized for the betterment of our society. Only written things are of no use until we make it in our practice. So it is also said that whatever the fundamental rights and duties are there, these are given in the written form. So if it is given in the written form, and if we do not follow that in practical way, then it will remain only in papers. So the things that remain in papers will not give any benefits to the society. So whatever the points that are there in the paper, we must utilize that in the real world also. Then only whatever the conclusion will be there, whatever the overcome or the result will be there, outcome will be there, then only we can say that it will make the particular things fruitful, and it will also make the society a better place to live in. After that, it's time we leave our differences behind, come together and fight for things that are fundamentally rights. Let's show them our strength in numbers and solidarity. The revolution can happen. So according to the constitution, as there is no official language, so according to the Constitution of India, we are a country. India is a country with unity in diversity, and we all should respect each other irrespective of caste or religion. So as a whole, we can say that in India we should respect each other's culture, each other's language. Only then we can live in our country happy and in a peaceful way. And this will also set an example of unity in diversity to the other people or to the other countries in the world. We can make one example by showing that we are really a country which follows unity in diversity. Clear? So with that, we have come to the end of this lengthy topic related to fundamental rights and fundamental duties, where we have learned about the introduction part related to the Constitution of India. After that, we read about the Constitution of India related to Bhimrao Ambedkar ji. We also read about the definition of fundamental rights, which comes under part 3 of the Indian Constitution. Then we read about all the 6 fundamental rights elaborately, starting from right to equality from Article 14 to 18, right to freedom from Article 19 to 22, then right against exploitation under Article 23 and 24. Moving on to the 4th right, that was right to freedom of religion under Article 25 and 25 to 28. Then came cultural and educational right, which comes under Article 29 and 30. And lastly, the last fundamental rights is right to constitutional remedies, which comes under Article 32. After that, we read about the 11 fundamental duties. And regarding fundamental duties, as fundamental rights comes under part 3 of the Indian Constitution, fundamental duties comes under part 4A of the Indian Constitution. Here we read about the 11 fundamental duties. And lastly, that is, in today's class, we made a comparative analysis of both fundamental rights and fundamental duties, which is overall 5 points. There are 5 points overall in this comparative analysis. So I hope that whatever the points I have made you understand regarding the fundamental rights and fundamental duties, it is now clear to you. So with this, I will wind up today's topic. Thank you.